This geomagnetic storm that's hit Earth the last couple days. Well, today it messed up my phone, messed up the radio. It was changing channels and stuff. It was changing my phone around. Not all the time, but it was like it wasn't like an all day thing, but it's happened, in spots during the day. But anyway, made me realize that dinosaurs didn't die from asteroids. Now, a lot of them might have died from stuff post of what I'm about to tell you, like maybe possibly, they got disease or whatever happened to them. But anyway, I think it was a gigantic geomagnetic storm caused by the sun, the bursts on the sun, those solar flares. And then it was so large that it came down and it basically lobotomized everything that wasn't shielded by dirt. And because if you think about it, all the animals they say that were mammals uh, that survived the asteroid strike, they would all had to breathe air as well. So if they were tunneling in dirt, and dirt is basically everybody takes from almost everything, you shield yourself in dirt, tornadoes, everything. And dirt was the shield for this geomagnetic storm for all these small mammals. And all the dinosaurs, they were exposed to it. And so they basically were lobotomized and their hearts defibrillated. They were stopped by it was basically magnetic pulses. It was so long that they possibly were in tune with maybe a pulsing of the ozone or something like that. And this pulse maybe lasted a month, maybe lasted 2 months, maybe lasted 6 months. The geomagnetic storm could have been so large that it lasted, for months. And this pulsing, this magnetic pulsing, would have changed their heart, just like it changes hearts going into space. So some of these astronauts, their heart starts beating backwards. Anyway, that's not part of the story, but part of changing your heartbeat is. So this magnetic pulse, whether how fast it was, how big it was, how fast it might have come through in long drones. It might have come through it. I don't know how. I would think a large one would come through heavy and deep drones, which would create it might even cause the Earth to shift. Like it might have caused, not, instead of tectonic plates, this geomagnetic storm could have like crushed the Earth, with these pulses. So anyway, the basically it lobotomized and then it stopped the heartbeats of all the dinosaurs. So they basically, it might have been a month or 2 months and all the dinosaurs just fell over and died from their brain stopped working and their heart quit beating because it just stopped everything. Everything that was like wasn't in dirt, wasn't shielded by it, was killed by this. Now what they lived on, I don't know. Maybe rats are carnivorous, and they're saying rats were like the first mammals, and so maybe they were eating their, maybe they had so big of litters and had them so fast that it just caused them to. Maybe they were having big litters or whatever it was, and they were eating their young. It sounds disgusting, but you're talking rats and stuff like that, prehistoric rats. So anyway, that's what I think killed the dinosaurs, not asteroids. So that's because we just went through a pulse, and it's like here it's messing with the phone and the radio, and that's magnetic working against electronic. Now, if you make that about 20 times bigger, the sun might have been wilder back then. You go back 200 million years, or however many million years it was that the dinosaurs supposedly disappeared. Now, that time zone could be spread over a while too. There might have been certain species that lived and then just couldn't exist because the other ones that they needed to have to coexist died off. So anyway, that's a theory instead of this asteroid. Because I've always thought this asteroid, it doesn't make sense that If it was causing all this vegetation to die and all this stuff to die, you would have think anything living underground would have died. Unless it's carnivorous. Of course, it's carnivorous, but it's still breathing air. You know, they're saying the air was this and choked them. Well, it would have choked everything. It wouldn't have just, what do you think, they're going to breathe an air pocket for a month? I don't know. I don't think, I just don't think, I've always speculated the asteroids. I thought, and then also with this geomagnetic storm, it would have went so far out. I mean, who knows how far it goes? Maybe they're happening all the time in all these galaxies. These geomagnetic storms are happening, and that's what we're getting signals from and all this stuff. But anyway, it went out and maybe caused something in the asteroid belt to draw toward the sun, and Earth was in the way and got hit by some asteroids. So you go digging 200 million or 100 million years after the extinction of the dinosaurs as what do they call it? Intelligent designed hominid. It was what basically humans are. I don't believe we evolved the way the science. It's anyway. So you got them digging in dirt, finding this, and then finding possible dirt layers. Asteroids could have hit Earth after this geomagnetic storm, covering up everything, leaving a layer of silt. And it could have been 100 years, could have been 1,000 years later after the geomagnetic storm, where these asteroids were pulled toward Earth from the geomagnetic storm. Rather than sending them away, it pulled them towards. So anyway, that's kind of my theory.